You want success? You want to change your life? Then listen up, because what I'm about to tell you is the difference between staying stuck and breaking through to a level you never even thought was possible. Most people drift through life waiting for the right time, waiting for the perfect moment to start taking action. But let me tell you something, the perfect moment doesn't exist. You create it. You make it happen. And it starts right now. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't talent, it isn't luck, it's one thing: mindset. Today, I'm going to show you the principles that separate the average from the extraordinary, the principles that will make you unstoppable. And it all starts with your thoughts, your habits, and the way you show up every single day. And let me tell you something. What I'm about to share with you is it's not just a bunch of ideas. These are the real battle-tested principles that have shaped the lives of the most successful people on this planet. These are the same principles that will elevate you beyond what you ever thought possible. And if you're ready, if you're truly ready to take control, to step into the most powerful version of yourself, then I want you to listen closely, because we're about to dive deep into something that will completely shift the way you see your life, your potential, and your future. Your mind is either your greatest weapon or your most dangerous enemy. Your mind is the foundation of everything you will ever achieve or fail at in life. It is the driving force behind your success, or the weight that pulls you into failure. Every great leader, every champion, every warrior who has ever dominated their field understood this simple truth: if you do not control your mind will control you. And most people, they let their minds dictate their lives, trapping them in mediocrity, in fear, in self-doubt. Think about it. How many times have you hesitated because of a negative thought? How often have you allowed your insecurities, fears, or limiting beliefs to stop you from taking action? That's not the world holding you back. That's not bad luck. That's not unfair circumstances. That is you. That is your own mind acting as an anchor, keeping you from rising. But here's the reality. The same mind that is limiting you right now can become your most powerful weapon if you learn how to train it. Most people live their entire lives as prisoners to their own mental weaknesses. They allow themselves to be dictated by fear, by comfort, by laziness. The man who fails is not the man who wasn't given an opportunity. He is the man who allowed his own thoughts to paralyze him. When you wake up in the morning, what do you tell yourself? Do you immediately think about the things you can't do? Do you fill your head with self-doubt? If so, you've already lost. Because before you even take action, your thoughts have already determined your reality. Successful people think differently. They don't entertain weakness. They don't allow negative thoughts to linger. They sharpen their minds daily, just like a warrior sharpens his sword. They take control of what goes into their heads, and they refuse to be slaves to doubt. You need to understand something. Your mind is programmable. It is not fixed. It is not some uncontrollable force that you're stuck with. It is a machine, and like any machine, it operates based on the input you give it. If you feed it weakness, it will produce failure. If you feed it discipline, power, and strength, it will turn you into an unstoppable force. The reason most people never achieve greatness is because they let their minds run wild like an untrained animal. They let thoughts of failure, insecurity, and fear dominate their mental space instead of intentionally programming themselves for victory. You need to take back control. You need to start training your mind every single day to become your greatest weapon. That means eliminating negativity. That means cutting off the people who do nothing but drain you. That means stopping yourself every time a weak thought enters your head and replacing it with something powerful. And most importantly, that means deciding right now that your mind belongs to you, not the other way around. If you learn how to control your mind, there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that can stop you. Every great conqueror in history, every man who has built an empire, has mastered the art of mental dominance. They were not born different from you. They were not given some special gift. They simply refused to let weakness enter their mind. They made a choice to take control, and that choice made them unstoppable. Now ask yourself, are you controlling your mind, or is your mind controlling you? The weak-minded blame the world, the strong-minded take responsibility. Most people are trapped in a cycle of failure because they refuse to take responsibility for their lives. They blame their circumstances, their upbringing, their luck, their past. They make excuses for why they haven't succeeded instead of looking in the mirror and realizing the truth. They are exactly where they deserve to be because of their own decisions. If your life is not where you want it to be, that is your fault. If you are broke, that is your fault. If you are out of shape, that is your fault. If you are lost, weak, and unfulfilled, that is your fault. And the moment you accept that truth is the moment you take back power. The weak spend their lives pointing fingers, saying it's not fair, or I didn't have the same opportunities as others. The strong do not waste time with blame. They take full control and say, if my life isn't what I want it to be, I will change it. It is easy to play the victim. That's why so many people do it. It requires no effort to sit back and complain, to talk about how life is unfair, how others have it easier. But what does that do? Nothing. Complaining solves nothing. Blaming the world changes nothing. It just gives you an excuse to stay exactly where you are. The truth is, the world does not care about your excuses. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you success. If you want something, you have to go out and take it. Look at the most successful people in the world. They weren't given their success. They fought for it. They took responsibility for their lives and made things happen. They didn't waste time feeling sorry for themselves. They used every setback as fuel, every obstacle as an opportunity to grow stronger. The moment you stop blaming the world and start holding yourself accountable is the moment you take back your power. Weak men sit around talking about why they can't win. Strong men focus on how they will win. The difference between success and failure is mindset. It's whether you choose to see yourself as a victim or as the one in control. If you constantly blame others, you are weak. If you make excuses, you are weak. If you're waiting for someone to give you permission to be great, you are weak. And if you continue down that path, you will never amount to anything. Taking responsibility means accepting that every decision you make has led you to where you are. It means realizing that you are in complete control of your destiny. And once you accept that, you become dangerous because now nothing can stop you. You are no longer waiting for the world to be fair. You are no longer depending on luck. You are deciding your future, and that is the mindset of a winner. You have two choices: continue making excuses and remain exactly where you are, or take responsibility and change your life. The weak will keep blaming the world. The strong will rise above and dominate. Which one are you? Discipline will take you where motivation cannot. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like the wind. One day you feel unstoppable, ready to conquer the world. The next, you don't even want to get out of bed. If you rely on motivation, you will fail. This is why so many people start strong but never finish. They get excited about an idea, a goal, or a dream, but the moment they stop feeling that rush of inspiration, they quit. They make excuses. They tell themselves they'll start again when they feel ready, but readiness never comes. Success doesn't care about how you feel. The world does not reward those who act only when it's convenient. It rewards those who do what needs to be done regardless of their emotions. That is discipline. Discipline is the ability to push forward when you don't feel like it. It is the ability to take action even when you're tired, even when you're uninspired, even when every part of you wants to stop. The difference between those who win and those who lose is not talent. It's not intelligence, it's not luck, it is discipline. The disciplined man wakes up before his alarm even when he didn't get enough sleep. He trains when his body is sore, he works when his mind is exhausted, he pushes through when every excuse tells him to stop because he understands that feelings are irrelevant. What matters is the action. Weak people rely on motivation. They wait for the perfect moment. They want to feel excited before they start. That's why they never get anywhere. They only move when it's easy, and the second it gets hard, they give up. But the strong, they are different. They show up every single day no matter what. Rain or shine, they put in the work. They don't need motivation. They have something better. Discipline. Imagine a soldier at war. Does he wake up and ask himself if he feels like fighting today? No, he gets up, puts on his gear, and does his job because he knows the mission is more important than his feelings. That is how you need to approach your goals. If you want to be great, you must stop relying on motivation. You must train yourself to act regardless of how you feel. That means waking up early even when you're tired. That means going to the gym even when you don't feel strong. That means putting in extra hours of work even when you'd rather rest. It is about doing what needs to be done day in and day out without excuses. Think about the greatest athletes, the most successful businessmen, the most dominant warriors in history. Do you think they were always motivated? Do you think they always felt like showing up? Of course not, but they did it anyway, because they understood that discipline is the foundation of success. They built habits that made action automatic, and that is what separates the best from the rest. Discipline is not something you are born with, it is something you build. It is a skill like any other, and the more you practice it, the stronger it gets. Every time you push through discomfort, you are strengthening your discipline. Every time you refuse to give in to weakness, you are making yourself tougher. It starts small, waking up on time, finishing a workout, staying focused when you want to quit. But over time, these small victories add up, and before you know it, you have become unstoppable. Most people think they need motivation to start. They don't. They need discipline. They need to commit to the work no matter how they feel. And once they develop that habit, they will never stop. Because discipline is freedom, discipline is power, discipline is the key to everything you want in life. If you master it, nothing will be out of reach. Comfort is the enemy of progress. Most people live their lives in a prison of their own making. They stay where it's safe, where it's comfortable, where nothing challenges them, and they wonder why they never grow. Comfort is the greatest killer of ambition. It lulls you into a false sense of security, convincing you that you're fine where you are. It makes you weak. It makes you complacent. It destroys potential. Look around you. The world is filled with people who settled for less than they were capable of. They took the easy route, they avoided struggle, and now they live lives of quiet desperation, wondering why they never achieved anything great. They were afraid to be uncomfortable. They avoided pain, and because of that, they remained stagnant. Growth only happens when you push beyond your limits. It happens when you step into the unknown, when you embrace discomfort, when you do the things that scare you. Think about the strongest men, the most successful entrepreneurs, the greatest warriors in history. None of them got there by staying comfortable. They sought out difficulty. They put themselves in situations that forced them to adapt, to improve, to evolve. They understood that comfort is the enemy, and they did everything in their power to escape it. Pain is your greatest teacher. Struggle is your greatest ally. The moments where you feel the most discomfort are the moments where you are growing the most. When you lift heavy weights, your muscles tear and rebuild stronger. When you push your mind past its limits, it adapts and becomes sharper. The same principle applies to every aspect of life. If you want to become more, you must seek discomfort. You must intentionally put yourself in situations that force you to level up. Weak people run from discomfort. They avoid hard conversations. They stay in easy jobs. They never take risks. And then they complain about their mediocre lives. They want success, but they refuse to do what is necessary to earn it. They are addicted to comfort, and comfort is killing them. But the strong, they are different. They chase difficulty. They put themselves in uncomfortable situations on purpose. They welcome pain because they know it is making them better. Imagine a man training for war. Does he prepare by sitting on his couch, waiting for the perfect moment? No, he throws himself into battle. He trains in the harshest conditions. He pushes his body and mind to the breaking point because he knows that if he is not prepared to face adversity, he will not survive. Life is the same way. If you are not constantly testing yourself, you are getting weaker. If you are not pushing your limits, you are falling behind. You need to start seeking out discomfort. That means waking up earlier than you want to. That means taking risks even when you're scared. That means doing the things you hate, because those are the things that will make you stronger. Every time you step outside of your comfort zone, you are growing. Every time you push through resistance, you are improving. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Look at the life you are living right now. Are you challenging yourself every day? Are you putting yourself in difficult situations that force you to evolve? Or are you staying where it's easy, where it's safe, where nothing ever changes? If you are comfortable, you are not growing. If you are not growing, you are dying. Comfort is the enemy of progress. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you can start becoming the person you were meant to be. The harder the battle, the sweeter the victory. Nothing worth having comes easy. Every great achievement is the result of struggle, sacrifice, and relentless effort. The greater the challenge, the more satisfying the reward. Weak people look for shortcuts. They want instant success, instant gratification, instant results. But that is not how the world works. If something comes easy, it has little value. It is the blood, sweat, and tears poured into a goal that make it meaningful. The ones who endure the most hardship, who suffer the most setbacks, who fight through the most pain are the ones who truly understand the joy of victory, because they earned it. Most people quit when things get tough. They see obstacles as signs to stop rather than tests of their will. But the strongest, they see difficulty as an opportunity. Every challenge is a chance to grow stronger. Every setback is fuel for the fire. The road to success is not meant to be smooth. It is filled with failures, disappointments, and struggles. That is what makes it worth it. If it were easy, everyone would do it. But the ones who refuse to break, who keep pushing forward no matter what, they are the ones who reach the top. Think about a warrior in battle. He does not fear the fight, he embraces it. He knows that the harder the battle, the more glorious the victory. He welcomes pain because he understands that through pain, he becomes stronger. Every scar, every wound is proof of his resilience. That is how you must approach life. The struggle is not something to be avoided, it is something to be embraced. Because in the end, the pain of discipline, the pain of sacrifice, the pain of relentless effort will always be better than the pain of regret. The only limits that exist are the ones you create. The mind is the most powerful weapon. It can either be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. Most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they convince themselves they are not capable. They create imaginary walls, fake barriers, and false excuses that hold them back. They tell themselves they are not strong enough, not smart enough, not lucky enough. But these are lies. The only real limits are the ones you accept. If you refuse to believe in limitations, they do not exist. History is filled with men who defied what others thought was possible. They refused to listen to the doubters, the critics, the weak-minded who told them they couldn't. They pushed beyond what was expected, and because of that, they achieved greatness. The human body, the human mind, and the human spirit are capable of far more than we realize. But most people never tap into their full potential because they give up before they even try. They stay inside the prison of their own doubts, never daring to test their true limits. There is always another level. No matter how strong you think you are, you can be stronger. No matter how fast you think you are, you can be faster. The only thing stopping you is the belief that you cannot. If you wake up every day and tell yourself that you are limitless, that nothing can hold you back, that there is no challenge too great, no obstacle too big, you will start to see the truth. The only thing standing between you and everything you want is the story you tell yourself. Change the story and you change your reality. Success is never owned, it is rented, and the rent is due every day. Success is not something you achieve once and then keep forever. It is something that must be earned over and over again. Too many people believe that once they reach a certain level, they can relax, that once they accomplish a goal, they can stop working. But that is not how success works. It is rented, and that rent must be paid every single day. The moment you stop putting in the effort, the moment you stop pushing yourself, you begin to fall backwards. Success does not care about what you did yesterday. It only cares about what you are doing today.